met a gypsy.
Oh, definitely. And I think too, man, like it's funny. So I've had a bit of a roller coaster with the sport in that sense. Like I've spoken about it before, about watching Andrew McFarlane pass away. Is like a really good friend of mine, and I saw a bunch of guys get hurt at one time, and like honestly, it made me surf and play golf. So I spent the whole time I lived in America, I rode a dirt bike like 3 times. So the 12-year-old in me completely hates my guts now because I never rode any of the sick tracks that I spent my whole life frothing over. But it like fucked with my head, you know. I was like, this shit's just not worth it. And then, I would tell people like I'd never let my kid race. I'd never get my kid into dirt bikes. And I've just had the biggest shift from it because on so many levels, it's like, I went and raced Manjimup. We drove 5 days. Like 4 days there and 4 days back to go and do this race that was super gnarly. I trained for it. I was eating good. I was with my best friend to do it. Like we made it was like a sick work trip. And then all the other stuff that we do, like my dad preps my bikes for racing. I'm 33 years old, and I'm still best friends with my dad because of dirt bikes. Do I have other shit to talk to my dad about? Not really. So it's like there's so many elements that moto is kind of like worth that. I will break a hip every now and again to have that connection with my dad and to have something that gets me out of bed every day to like try and keep my fitness good. There's something there that makes me not want to go and party and be a dickhead on the weekends. And then to the point of I've been able to operate motor vehicles my entire life. I've been able to drive a car since I was a kid. I've never been in a car accident, again, touch wood. But it's like these are all skills that are developed by me being a dirt bike kid and understanding motors and understanding like, I mean, dude, have you ever been in a car with a chick driving and you're just like, man, you've never crashed anything before because you do not understand how fucking bad it hurts and how much it sucks to be in the hospital. And it's like we have this like level of respect because of moto.
Yeah, totally. Like I think that's kind of why, like, where I try and share my end of my story because growing up, like I wasn't a top amateur prospect. I wasn't, we would do everything we could to make it to Loretta's. But all my memories as a kid are with my family going to the local races, going to a qualifier. If we were able to qualify for Loretta's, like that was my dad's week vacation. Like we would go to Loretta's and like some of my best childhood memories are at the track with my family. Like, and up until I was 17 years old, racing professional motocross for a career wasn't even really a thing. I always dreamed of it as a kid. Like when you race dirt bikes and that's what you love to do, you dream to be the best at it. And, but like it just wasn't even really in the cards. It wasn't something that was even seemed to be achievable. Like I guess it wasn't even thought about because I lived in Iowa. And if you're familiar with the states, in Iowa, it snows 6 months a year. So I went to public school, lived in Iowa, and we had dirt bikes for fun. That's the only reason. And my dad, my mom, my dad, everyone, they were fully into it. Like we had everything they could do for us and they loved it. We loved it. My sister, she raced growing up and, like it was so just for the love of it. And it turned into being able to be a career for me. But, like it just, when I have kids, I'll for sure let them have the opportunity to race a dirt bike. I'm not going to push it on them. I'm not going to say you're going to become a professional racer because of I was a racer and I did X, Y, and Z in my career. That has nothing to do with my kids, right? But for sure, I would always recommend anyone if they have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, man. No, I completely agree. And like, man, me and my brother texted me at 6 a.m. this morning. Hey, man, where are we riding this weekend? And it's just, like Ronan here, he's the producer in Australia. Him and his brother's the same. We're going racing next weekend. His dad's going to drive the caravan there. Like, and Loretta's is such a cool example of that. I mean, I'm sure there's a big percentage of dickhead parents at Loretta's that are like pushing their kids way too hard, and it's like a probably point of diminishing returns. But I mean, I bet there's some amazing memories that go down at Loretta's for the, you know, like the kid that's going to get 39th place in the C class and is just like so happy to be there. And to be able to like have an outlet to cultivate those kind of memories with your kid, and it's been like one of the guiding things through my entire life.
Yeah, I absolutely. And like, I was that kid that, you know, was 20 something at Loretta's in, and it was just so cool. Like, all the people locally thought it was so awesome that I qualified for Loretta's, you know? And so like, even that's how I kind of try and share that part of my story too, because even if you are 14 and you are that 25th place kid at Loretta's, like, if you want to make it happen, go make it happen. If you have the support behind you, like, you can. It's not possible. It's not easy. And even if you're, you know, Adam Cincerillo on a super mini winning everything by 20 seconds, it wasn't easy for him either. Like, there's multiple ways to go through it, but just seeing the families and stuff. Even now, I just went to Loretta's this past week, the first time since I've turned pro, and I was hanging out a lot with Nick and his kids and his wife Nicole, and I mean, Vincent, Nick's kid, is at the top level. You know, he won a championship on the 65. He's young on the 85. He's a, you know, top 5, top 10 kid on the 85, and can potentially win. So like, they're at the very high level. You know, he's got all kinds of support, but also like, it was so cool just to see, you know, the commitment from Nick, Nicole, his wife, grandpa and grandma were there. It was a huge family thing. Donovan, you know, Nick's the youngest boy, he was there running around in the creek collecting free stickers and cruising around on golf carts and doing things. You know, Ava, their daughter, who's like super top level gymnastics, like a gymnast. She's 13 or 14, but she's like super high level gymnast, and she was there. You know, it was just cool to see. Like, it was really a family. You know, they were just making family memories together, and like, I aspire to try and be like that as I grow older too, because like, Nick's such a cool example for me, because his kid is at the top level. Like, there is pressure for Vincent, you know, and Nick does so well at, you know, even if Vincent doesn't do maybe the best or whatever in a moto, like, it's cool to see them interact and you know, them talk about it and not be a freak out thing. You know, it's cool. Like, even for the kids at the top that are the best kids in the world racing Loretta's, most of them are in a camper, their family's there. It's such a family thing that, it's just awesome.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.